It's a Tuesday morning in Regent's Park. You're eating a sandwich on a bench, watching pigeons argue over a chip, when a man in a gray overcoat sits down beside you. He doesn't look at you. He places a manila folder on the bench between your thighs. "Don't open it here," he says quietly. His voice is calm, rehearsed. "Read it tonight. Burn it after." He stands and walks away before you can say a word. You stare at the folder. Your sandwich is forgotten. The park noise, children, dogs, a distant siren feels suddenly muted, like someone turned the world down. You press your hand against the cover. It's warm from his coat. Inside, you already know, is something that will split your life into before and after. You just don't know it yet. That night in your flat, you open it. Inside is a single sheet of paper, your name, your university record, every job you've ever held, a photograph, you leaving your office last Thursday, taken from across the street. At the bottom, a phone number and 4 words printed in clean black type. "We've been watching you." You almost don't call. You sit on the edge of your bed for an hour, phone in hand, thumb hovering. You think about your life, the routine of it, the comfortable smallness of it. Then you dial. It rings once. A woman answers. "We'll send a car at 7, she says. That's all. The line goes dead. You haven't slept properly since. The car is black, unmarked, immaculate. The driver says nothing. You cross Vauxhall Bridge and the building rises ahead of you. Vauxhall Cross, the Secret Intelligence Service headquarters. You've seen it before. Everyone has. But knowing what it is and arriving at its gate with a purpose are 2 entirely different experiences. Your mouth goes dry. A woman named Helen meets you in a sterile white corridor. She's mid-40s, sharp eyes, a handshake that tells you she has nothing to prove. She explains, calmly, professionally, that you've been assessed for 18 months. Your language aptitude, your psychological resilience, your access to certain networks they find valuable. You're not an accident, she says. You're a selection. The vetting process takes 3 months. Polygraphs, psychological interviews that last 5 hours at a stretch. Background checks so deep, they speak to a teacher you had at age 9. You sign documents that make your hands tremble. Official Secrets Act. You are legally bound to silence before you've learned a single secret worth keeping. Training begins at a facility that doesn't exist on any map. Somewhere in rural Scotland, you're driven there blindfolded, literally. The irony isn't lost on you. For the next 6 weeks, you learn surveillance detection routes, how to identify a tail in a crowd, how to dead drop a message, how to build a cover story that holds under pressure. Your instructor is a retired field officer named Marsh. He treats you like a liability he intends to fix. Marsh runs you through a surveillance exercise in Edinburgh's Old Town. You have 90 minutes to reach a dead drop location without being followed. What you don't know, not yet, is that 3 of the other trainees are playing the role of watchers. You spot 2 of them. The third follows you all the way to the drop. Marsh debriefs you in 4 sentences. You looked back too many times. Amateurs look back. The street is a mirror. Learn to read it. You learn to construct a legend, a false identity detailed enough to survive scrutiny. Backstory, cover employment, a fabricated social media presence seeded months in advance. You practice conversations in character for hours. You eat, sleep, and argue as someone who doesn't exist. By the end, you're not sure which version of yourself feels more real. 6 weeks become 6 months. Helen briefs you on your first assignment. A mid-level Russian trade attaché in Prague has been making quiet overtures, hints he might be willing to talk. Your job is not to recruit him, not yet. Your job is to get close. Be interesting enough that he chooses to stay close to you. Be the gravity, Helen says. Let him orbit. Prague in December. The city is cold and beautiful and old in the way that makes you feel watched by history. You arrive as a trade consultant for a fictional British logistics firm. Your hotel is on the Vltava River. Your contact, codenamed Vesnik, attends a weekly dinner at a restaurant in Mala Strana. You are at the bar on his third Tuesday there when he sits 2 stools away and orders Becherovka. Over 3 weeks, you build a relationship one conversation at a time. He's intelligent, lonely, and quietly bitter about something he won't name. You don't push, you listen. You ask the right questions and let silence do the work. By week 4, he's texting you to meet for coffee. By week 6, he's hinting at frustrations with Moscow's instructions. You report everything back to Helen through an encrypted channel. She tells you to maintain contact, to wait. Then something changes. Vesnik cancels a meeting with no explanation. 2 days later, he cancels again. When you finally see him at the restaurant, he doesn't look at you. Not once. You feel it before you can name it. That cold, slow flood of wrongness. You walk back to your hotel through the snow and call Helen. "He's been warned," she says. Her voice is flat. "Someone told them about you." Back in London, the postmortem is brutal. Someone inside the operation leaked your identity to Russian intelligence. The circle of people who knew your cover in Prague had exactly 4 names. Helen, Marsh, a signals analyst named Carver, and a senior controller you've met only once, a man called Aldridge. You sit in a room and listen to people you trust explain why none of them can be trusted. Helen asks you to do something that makes your stomach turn. Continue. Go back to Prague. Act as though nothing has changed. Become bait. If the leak is internal, she says carefully, we need to let them believe the operation is still live. She holds your gaze. You'll have a security detail you won't be able to see. That last part is not entirely reassuring. You return to Prague. The city feels different now. Every stranger on the tram is a question. Every car that slows is a threat being weighed. You've been trained for this. The elevated state, the hypervigilance. But training and reality are separated by a gulf that only narrows when someone is actually watching you. And someone is. You can feel it in the back of your neck like a cold hand. The trap closes on a Thursday evening. You're walking along the Charles Bridge when 2 men fall into step beside you, one on each side. They don't grab you. They don't need to. One shows you a photograph on his phone. It's Aldridge. He's shaking hands with a man you recognize from intelligence briefings as SVR. Your senior controller, the man says in accented English, has been theirs for 11 years. They're not SVR, they're MI5, counterintelligence. This was a parallel operation running alongside yours without your knowledge. Aldridge has been under investigation for months. Your deployment to Prague was partly genuine, partly a controlled provocation designed to make him act. You were a piece in a game with rules you weren't given. You stand on the bridge in the cold and feel something calcify inside you. Aldridge is arrested quietly on a Sunday in his garden in Surrey. No press, no drama. He's simply gone. Helen calls you into her office and does something unexpected. She apologizes, not for much, not with any softness, but she holds your gaze and says, "You weren't fully briefed because we couldn't risk it reaching him. That was the calculation." You nod. You understand the logic. Understanding the logic doesn't make it feel better. Vesnik, it turns out, was never compromised by Aldridge. He'd been spooked by something else entirely. A rumor from a different source, long since traced and closed. 3 weeks after the bridge, he makes contact again. A postcard to your cover address in Prague. 3 words in Russian on the back. "I'm still interested." Helen reads it and allows herself a small, precise smile. You go back a 3rd time. The city is the same. The cold, the spires, the river dark between the bridges. Vesnik meets you at the cafe. He's quieter than before. He orders coffee, wraps both hands around the cup, and looks at you for a long moment. Then he slides a USB drive across the table. "I want my family out," he says. "I want guarantees. Then I'll give you everything." Your pulse doubles. This is what it was all for. You close your hand around it, slowly, naturally, like it's nothing. Like your entire body isn't screaming. You look him in the eye and say the words Helen trained you to say, the ones that mean, we hear you, we'll protect you, you're not alone in this. You mean them. That surprises you. You actually mean every word. Back in London, the drive is analyzed. The data is real, significant. Names, dates, operations. Analysts work through the night. 3 days later, Helen calls you into a conference room where people you've never seen before are sitting around the table. Senior faces, careful eyes. Someone nods at you as you enter. Just a nod. But in this world, that's a standing ovation. That night, alone in your flat, you pour a glass of whiskey and sit in the dark. You think about the man in the gray coat in the park, the folder, the 4 words. You think about Marsh telling you the street is a mirror. You think about Aldridge, who you trusted and shouldn't have, and Vesnick, who you didn't trust and should have sooner. You are not the person who ate that sandwich. That person is gone. Helen calls in the morning. There's a new brief. A different city, a different name, a different version of you to build and wear and inhabit. She asks if you're ready. You look out the window at London, the gray sky, the ordinary world moving through its ordinary day, unaware. Yes, you say. And you are. That's the part that frightens you most. You are completely, utterly ready.